Hi guys, yeah, a little while ago I promised that I would do a video on grafting your apple. Now the time is right. Sydney is in the first week of springtime, and I have all the apple stems, I have the tool, I have everything ready. So today what I'm going to do for you guys is to show you how to do grafting. Yeah, all right. And so yeah, let's get on with it. Here is a grafting tool.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the whole idea is that the mechanism here is going to do a cut, and it gives you a perfect cut. So using the tool is really good. Now the alternative is to use a knife. Now this is a simple knife. This is just something that I got from Bunning, and the tradie uses for cutting, for do all sort of things.
Yeah.
The good thing is that the blade is really sharp. Now this is what they call a budding knife. The design, but the thing is, this is the cheap, the Chinese one. So the blade is actually sharpened on both sides.
Yeah.
And that's actually no good for grafting because you need the blade to be sharpened on one side. The reason is because when you do a cut, it's sharpened on one side only, and then the cut will be flat. Otherwise, the cut will be a bit curved. Okay, so I have other tool, for example, like this is called a budding tape. That used to wrap, hold, and seal the moisture.
Yeah.
And this is electrical tape. It's really useful because you use it to wrap around to hold it firmly.
Yeah.
And I have other tools, for example, like the rubber band. Now the rubber band is really useful too. What I find is that the rubber band can help you to create a pressure that actually press things hard, to make the scion, which is the bit that you graft onto the stem, stick. And you would also need things like your labeling tape, so you label. All right, now this is the stem that I got from the apple farm. Now the stem that you use to graft onto the house, the technical name they call it the scion. So I have a variety of them. So like Kaylee, Red Fuji. Now if you look carefully at it, the idea is that you want to harvest the stem, and then you want to put into the fridge for about 2 months. Now the idea is that you want to give the stem a winter, a proper winter. So by the time springtime comes and you do the grafting, it's ready to grow. Now you see a little green bud here? You see? Yeah, you see that? It's ready to grow. Now these stems are not normal. These stems are actually the stem that already produce fruits. So here you see all the sharp tip here. They are not normal. They are actually flower buds. So they're actually ready. So what I'm trying to do this year is to do an experiment where I get these things that are ready to flower and graft it onto the tree with the idea that I hope it will flower and give me a lot of fruit straight away, rather than people graft and wait for 2 years for the thing to grow flowers. No, this ready to flower. So graft onto the tree, get the flower straight away. Last year I did that, and it worked. It worked well, so that's good. So this year is an experiment, grafting the flower buds to see whether we can get a lot of fruit straight away. All right. Now, in Sydney, we have to be careful because the temperature in Sydney at night is cool. In daytime, get so warm. So we need to have all sort of protection. I have the bags, to put around to cover and give the protection and all that. I have the paper towel. The idea is to dip this in water and put into the bag. So the moisture is going to help to keep the thing protected. Now, The idea is how do you do the grafting so that the survival rate is 100%. Now, well, other farm they don't care about that, so they do a lot and stuff like that. But here, we do in the backyard, and we want everything we do to grow. All right. So the survival rate is really, really important, and that's where I have all the protection. What I'm going to demonstrate now is a grafting technique. This is called whip and tongue. Now, generally, the idea is people do a cut that way. Now, what I find out is that, yes, you can do that, but the apple stem is fairly tough. So if you do that, you have to need very strong hand and sharp knife and all that. You see what I mean? Now, so the issue I find is it's actually much easier to use a tool. Now, what I'm going to do, I'll just use a secateur, a simple tool like this. So I can just do a cut. Now, so look at that. So now I angle that as sharp as I can, and I do a cut. Okay. Now here we have the cut. You see the pressure? That sort of bend the thing a bit. Now, one way is to use a utility knife, and you just sort of gently shave away like that. See that? Now shave away, make it smooth gently. Then in the whole stem, you do exactly the same thing, right? So you do a cut, same angle, and you shave the thing away like that. Smooth. Now gentle, make sure you don't create, like loops and, like up and down and things like that. Now that should be good enough. Now if you fit the two together like that, in this case perfect because of from the same stem, but from the host and the scion, it won't be perfect. But it fit like that. And this is already pretty good. It probably will work all right. But the magic tool is the planer. The planer is something that can shave and make sure that the surface is really smooth. So you go like that. Just a bit like that. And it becomes very smooth. And similar on the hose, you do the same thing. Now, obviously, on the real tree, this is a bit harder, but yes, you get used to that. Now, it really, really smooth. Now, so now, if you fit the two together, it's supposed to be really, really perfect. Now, this is called, what they call a cut like that is called a whip. Now, for the thing to stick together well, you need the idea of a tongue. Just like a fish hook kind of tongue. Okay, so how do you do that? Now, to do a tongue, look at that. Look about 1/3 of the distance. About there, 1/3. And then, very gently and dangerous, see? So I have to be very slow. So you cut that way. Now just jiggle, 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 jiggle. Dipping. Like that. That creates a tongue. Now on the hose, the same action have to be done. So about 1/3, about here, and flat and parallel to the stem, you jiggle to create a tongue. Now be careful, it's safe when you go very slow. Now once you have the tongue, you fit together like this. Press it, it's like that. There, you get in, see? Perfect. See that? Now, here, you fit in perfectly. Now once you have that, it's the time to get the grafting tape and put it on. Now, hold it correctly. the direction toward you like this. And put it on. Now that gives you the strength. So wrap around. Now wait. Now have to be gentle first. Like that. Now have a bit of pressure on your hand. Like that. Now just pull it hard like that, it will break. And then that's it. So here, the moisture is sealed in and it fits perfectly. Now the next thing is the electrical tape. So get a piece of it like this. You don't need a lot, just about that much. That's all you need. Now tie it, make it really, pull it hard. Now that's it. Now that's very strong already, very strong. Next, I want to use the rubber band. Now, the reason the rubber band works really well is that it creates the pressure to press the scion and the stem together. Like this, just go around. Like that. Okay, so. Yes. And then you tie the two together. Like that. It's a bit hard. Okay, now so that's it. So that's the action. Cut, create a tongue, fit together, wrap with the grafting tape, then the electrical tape, and then the rubber band. Now this will create a perfect your graft. Now the chance is that it will work really, really well, right? And then after that, we are talking about putting the plastic bag over the thing. Now, and inside the plastic bag, you would want to have some paper towel dip in water, and you just put it around here. Now, the moisture will stay inside the bag and protect the thing from drying. And that gives you the chance to get 100% a success rate. Okay, show you if you use the grafting tool. Now, I'll use this one as the example. I'm not going to get a new stem, okay? So the grafting tool is really nice. You got the blade here, and it will do a perfect cut. Now, so basically, now, look at that. So the grafting tool needs to try to get it right to the middle of the stem, like that. Right? Now, this grafting tool works well with stem about this size or a bit bigger, but not too big, because look at the gap here. The gap is not that big. And if you try to cut something that thick, it won't work. It's just too hard. So about half a centimeter or a bit more would be the biggest size. And this one, in this case, this is a little bit small, but it's okay. So try to get to the middle like that. And then press very hard. Go. Like that. Now look, so you got two parts. Now from the same stem, obviously, it's perfect. Same stem. Right? But when you have the hose, size is a bit different, and the scion is a bit different, it's still really good. Now what I find is that if you use a grafting tool, the success rate is really high. 100% really. If you have, very healthy scion and healthy hose, everything is right. And if you do the protection, put in plastic bag to protect, the success rate is close to 100. That is the best way. Now the grafting tool only costs you about $15 if you buy from China, Temu, stuff like that. It's just perfect. And then you do the grafting. Now look at the shape of it. They sell you 3 different kind of blades. This one is called Omega, where you have the tip here a little bit larger. So the nice things about the Omega shape is that it locks in really firmly. And the only way to get it out properly is to slide it like that. Now, you can get a V shape, you can get a U shape, but they don't lock in nicely. Now, if it lock in nicely, it's actually very firm, make it easy for you to do the wrapping. So I recommend the Omega shape. Now the V shape. Now if you have a thicker stem with the Omega shape, if you pull it out like this, it's very hard. But it's easy in this case because of the stem is so small, so that bend easily. So you can pull it out that way. But with the Omega shape, you're supposed to go sideways like this to fit in. Okay, so that's what it is. And then the wrapping, just like what you normally do. Now, what I'm going to do is to demonstrate the real operation. So this is the whole stem, okay? So the idea is we want to choose a whole stem roughly about the same size as the scion stem. So that looks okay. So that looks pretty good. Okay, so I go to the hose and I use the tool. Now, look at the shape of it. So yes, what I want to do is to have the sharp end of it, into the hose. Okay, so now let's do a cut. So if you look carefully, now let's try a cut. So, okay, now look at that. That looks all right. It's not really perfect, but it looks okay. Like that is okay. Not right at the middle, but that is fine. Okay. Now with the Omega shape, it is a little bit difficult to try to get it out of the way. See? But with a V shape, it's very easy. Now, next thing, with the tool. Now I'll just clean this up. Now, so I want to do a similar cut, but this time the pointy shape is going to point inside. So I have to, bend it this way, turn this way. So now, try near the middle, be the middle. Yeah. Now, all right. So now, there we are. So now, that's what it is. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Now, so now try to fit it in. Now fit it on the other side. It feels better that way. Now, so now look at the angle. Now, it had to fit well. Okay, like that. Maybe the other side is better. Yes, it could be. It's better that way. Now, make sure one side is perfectly fit. The other side, it doesn't matter. Just one side has to be perfect because you want to line up the skin, the cambium layer where the growth and healing will happen. Okay, so now we can probably start the wrapping process a bit early on the whole stem to get the thing ready. Okay, now we'll fit the scion on. Right, now you see had to fit perfectly on one side like that, so the cambium layers of the two will fit well. Okay, so we'll wrap the thing over. Could be a little bit tricky at the beginning. Try to get the thing to hold together. So you have only like one hand like that. Now that is a lot easier now. So now apply a little bit more pressure. A little bit tricky at the beginning, okay? Okay, now, so that's not so bad. So it fit already. Now, it's not very firm yet, but it holds together. Now, I'm sorry. Now, what I do is get the electrical tape, and that will give you the strength. So put it on. Hot. Now, try to pull it tight. Like that. Now that gives you a pretty good and firmer. Now finally, keep on there. Now finally we will use the rubber band. Now this ultimately gives you all the pressure and all the strength that you will need to hold the two together very tightly. So yeah, that's it. Now you have the thing really firm and strong. Now I'm going to trim it. That's it. Now so that's pretty good. Now the next action is I'm going to use the grafting tape to wrap around the whole thing to seal the moisture in. Now that gives a better chance for the stem to survive. So we wrap it all the way up. Now I'm not going to cover the flower buds. They will just grow and flower. So this is for extra protection. Now, a farmer probably would not do all of this, but what I do will guarantee the survival. Farmer don't have time to do this sort of thing. But as a hobby gardener, you can do it. No, so that's perfect. So you seal everything in. Now the next thing is I'm going to do is to put the paper towel with water around here. Just okay, wet paper towel go on. That give all the moisture that we want. Now a plastic bag can go on. So there's not enough, so I'm going to move the thing in and fit everything in. Whew. Okay, seal it. Now this is where a stapler come handy. Alright, so that will seal the thing. Okay, now what I also want to do, stick the thing together like that. Okay, done. Now, not yet. Now, what I want to do is to give it a little bit of breathing. So I'm going to cut a corner like that. See? So a little bit of breathing for the thing, just in case the sun get the air inside become too hot, so it will go out. Now the moisture created by the paper towel is going to keep everything nice. So that's it. Now with something like this, about a week and a half, you will start to see the bud start growing. In 2 weeks, they will grow. And about 3-4 weeks, you get the flowers. Then you remove the bag slowly. You just cut it slowly and let the thing harden. And that's how it works. What I'm going to demonstrate is the whip and tongue. Now, you can use a utility knife to do the cut, but it's hard. So I think the easiest way is to use the secateur. Okay, so first I'm going to do a cut like that. Now the idea is we do a simple cut and put that on. Now the thickness is about okay, so maybe I'll do it right here. Okay, all right, so now do a cut like that. Okay, so here, so do a cut right here like that. Okay, now so the idea is it fit okay, but we need to smooth it out. Okay, so now I'm going to do the planer thing.
It's actually pronounced plain. Just plain.
The planer actually. Now the trouble is the angle. It's difficult, right? So I won't use it. I use the utility knife instead. Okay, so I'm going to smooth it out like that. Gentle. Make sure that you don't create any bump. Now, if you want to keep it moist, it's actually okay to put into your mouth and hold it. I recut to make it easier for the camera to see. Now, is it too close, Jesse?
No, that's fine, that's fine.
Okay. Now that should be good enough. Now we could create a tongue. And we create a tongue about 1/3. Gentle. Make sure it's safe. Don't want to cut your hand. Now it has to be deep enough. Okay, so now we have a tongue. Okay, just try to fit it in. There, it fits perfectly. Now look at the angle. Look, see that? It fits perfectly. Now that is really good. Now the good thing about whip and tongue is that it holds very tight, allow you to do the wrapping. You take your hand off and everything is just fine. See that? So the whip and tongue allow the scion and the stem to fit really well. Okay. Now that's it. So now that seal the moisture in. Sticky tape. Second tab, go in, make it really tight. Now the reason why the whip and tongue technique is really important, the standard really, because it creates very strong, like grafting. Okay, so that's all good. Now next, we'll wrap the whole thing again, seal the moisture in. Now that's it. I'm not going to try to cover the flower buds. So that will be good enough. Now, so the next thing we'll just do is to put the plastic bag over. Now, money?
Yep.
Okay, now, so the next thing, again, I'm going to put a paper towel over and wrap it up. Now, and then give it a bit of a breathing hole at the top. That's it. Now, well, the label will just go in. Now, that's perfect. So guys, the idea here is what I'm trying to do is to get the flower burrs and graft onto the apple tree. And the expectation is that in a few weeks, I will have flowers and I'll get fruits. Now, normally when you grow a new tree, it will take 2 years for you to have fruits. And I expect the flowers, the fruits to happen. I did it last year, it works, but this year I want to do a lot. Now, the weather in Sydney is not really for your apples. So if you grow apples in Sydney, you don't expect to get many fruits. So what I'm trying to do is to get the flower buds from the farm, graft onto my apple tree, and I hope to get a lot of fruits. Okay. What I have shown you is how to use the tool and how to do the grafts. And I show you how to use the tool to do it, and I show you how to use the technique called whip and tongue. Now, whip and tongue is really, really good. It helps you to fit the thing really well, and the scion and the stem stick strongly and free up your hand so you can do the wrapping. Now, I leave you with some of the images that I got at the end of last year when I first started. And I saw the fruit and I left them on the tree, and they grew and they were really great. So that's why I came up with the idea that I can have more fruits simply by getting the stem that already bear fruit and graft onto my apple tree. Alright, so this is a very nice picture on the same tree. Last year when I got fruit. See, in this case we got 3 fruits on one of the stem. Now, this is another one. Now this one is awesome, isn't it? It got 4 fruits on one stem. Now also, it seems that the more fruit you have, the bigger the stem actually grow. Now, I'm sure the energy did not come from the stem itself. It must come from the host tree. So the more fruit you have, it seems that the host tree pump more energy, more food into the stem. So not only that you have the fruits, you also have the scion growing more strongly as well. Now, and this one is the picture taken from the crab apple tree that I grow in a pot. All right, so it's really nice to have, you know, a young tree in a pot with 3 fruits, well, like that. And I expect this year it will have more fruits. Okay, guys. Yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy watching this, and I reckon this is the kind of hobby that you can do at home. Now, I noticed that some people who just happen to live in a tropical country. Now, up in the mountain, the temperature is cool, but still quite warm, and they grow apple tree, but they don't get fruits. And even if they get fruit, they get 1 or 2, and very small ones. Now, the temperature in Sydney is rather warm, and it's not hard to get like many fruit as well. So what I think is that if you go in a warm kind of area, one trick you can do is exactly what I have shown you. You go to the farm, you harvest the stems, and you put into the fridge to give the stem a proper winter. And then later you graft on in springtime. And you know, the chances that you will have a lot of fruits, and there is a possibility that you can even harvest the flower bursts, the stem with them, from your own tree, put into the fridge to give them a proper winter. And then springtime you bring it out and grab back onto the same tree. Okay, and the chance is that you will get more fruit as well. Now, obviously, this is just a hobby, but it is very enjoyable. Well, the best of luck, guys.